I'm going to bed now.
Good evening and welcome everybody to our LifeWave presentation tonight. My name is Jonathan Sakaji. I'm a medic and a teacher by formal training. I'm very excited to be involved here with LifeWave tonight. I'm going to be co-presenting with Alex tonight, who's going to be doing the product part of the presentation. Welcome everybody. Thank you for saying yes to coming. And I'm going to hand it over to Alex now and let her take away the product part.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, everybody, and welcome. Sorry, Jonathan, I was just muting people, hence the distraction. Right. So, wonderful. It's so lovely to have you all here. I'm going to do the product part. Just to give you some of my history, I joined LifeWave in June 2023, much against my better judgment. And I joined because a friend's brother had dementia and they were desperate. So I started to investigate this technology that I'd heard about for 8 months and didn't believe to be true, because when you have dementia, nobody can help you anyway. So I didn't think that there was much to lose. And that led me down a complete rabbit hole of looking at much of the clinical information, reading on PubMed and academia, investigating the company. And I came to a number of conclusions. One is that the science is real and backed up and authentic and clinically relevant. The other is that the company's been around for 20 years and is solid, solvent, ethical, honest. So really quite an experience. So that's why I got involved. But then ultimately, because I understood the technology, I started to take X39 for myself, because I had had a thing called polymyalgia, which is many inflamed muscles, and I'd had it for 20 years, managed by medicine with anti-inflammatories, Lyrica. I used to buy cortisone 5 milligram tablets in 1,000 pill bottles, and manage my exercise and all that kind of stuff. And so I'd been in pain for 20 years on and off. And so understanding what stem cells did, I chose to take it myself. So along the way, I had some fantastic days when I felt like I had completely new engines and got my brain back, which I didn't know was missing anyway, and got stronger, slept beautifully, lost all the fine wrinkles, my hair all grew back, which had all fallen out. However, it did take me 10 months. And in that time, there were really good days and really bad ones. Days in which I felt exhausted, days in which I felt sore. But I continued to use X39, drink the water, take the electrolytes, because I understood what stem cells did. So my background is that I'm a nurse, and that was helpful in terms of understanding stem cells, but not necessary, by the way. A trained chimpanzee can understand stem cells. It's uncomplicated. So that's my story. And it took me 10 months to be pain-free. And if I'd stopped at 6 months or 7 months or 8 months, I wouldn't be here telling you that from a polymyalgia point of view, I am pain-free. I couldn't move my neck to look behind me when I drove my car. I would have to move my entire butt because I couldn't turn behind me. I had to raise the handlebars of my bicycle because by bending down, everything would go into a spasm. I couldn't bend my knees, so I couldn't get things out of a cupboard or a drawer that was lower down. My whole life has changed. So that's my story. And now I'm going to tell you about the product. And if you've never heard about it, This is the experience of a lifetime. It's like listening to Star Wars. So just hang in with us, and we'll tell you where this extraordinary stuff came from. Jonathan, we've once again got all those gray things everywhere. It's reduced a little bit. Okay. Okay, perfect. That's even reduced even more. Okay, wonderful. So, at this point in the presentation, we always ask, have you been patched? Some of you have, some of you haven't. And for those who haven't, as I said, this is an adventure. You're going to hear some extraordinary stuff. So, patches are designed to elevate, activate, and regenerate. Okay, let's go. David Schmidt. We can't talk about patches without talking about David Schmidt, who is the CEO and inventor. He now has over 200 patents. He's a scientist and inventor and not a medical doctor, but he's been inventing things since he was a really tiny boy. David is specializing in age reversal. The development of patches started many years ago when he developed patches for the American military to keep submariners awake on long missions, and the technology worked. So the first patch he developed was a thing called Energy Enhancer, and that's where the technology all started. And since then, we've had 20 years of science, research, and development. In 2008, David focused his attention on stem cell research, which is the world buzzword, was then, is now. About 2.6 billion a year is estimated to be being spent on stem cell research. And it took David the recent patent, which is what we're going to talk about, which is X39, 10 years to bring to market and 4.5 million. Okay. So what do we have? We have patented technology. What does that mean? A whole bunch of things. In order to get a patent, you have to have unique information, no matter what that patent is for. So it's information that nobody else has and that you can prove. It's not just a good idea. There has to be substantiation in order for you to get the patent. What else does the patent mean? The patent means exclusivity. Nobody else has this. There is nothing else like X39. It is completely unique. So what does that patent say, or part of it? It says a lot of things, but part of what it says is, by providing phototherapy to the human body, and for example, in some embodiments, as a result of elevating copper peptide, we produce, including the activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvements in stamina, and elevation of collagen production, and improved wound healing. All those things would have needed to be clinically proven in order to get a patent. Okay, thanks, Jonathan. Why X39 stem cell patch activation? Well, the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. So when you're a brand new baby, you have millions because you're new and you're growing. And that's what a new person is, just a collection of diversified stem cells. Hundreds of millions of people are experiencing symptoms of aging worldwide. A really interesting fact, which I didn't know, at age 30, only half your stem cells are active. That, guys, essentially means that you're middle-aged by 30. Okay, because you've lost your ability, you have a simply seriously compromised ability to heal and rejuvenate. At age 60, you've lost almost all of your stem cell activity. So obviously, some people will have more stem cell activity than other people. If you have a really healthy lifestyle and you exercise and you drink the right amount of water and it's clean water and you eat organic food, you will have more stem cell activity than somebody who sits on a couch and eats cheeseburgers and drinks Coke. But generally, those are the statistics internationally. Thanks, Jonathan. How X39 works. This is the hold onto your seat stuff, guys, because this is what sounds like science fiction. Okay, so X39 is a proprietary form of phototherapy. What is phototherapy? Phototherapy is light therapy, and it's been around for 2,500 years in one form or another. So the source of the light, as far as patches is concerned, is your own body's low-level infrared. So our bodies are living as our plants and animals, and we emit light and heat. So in this instance, the light source that we're using is our own body. Some of you will remember putting children under lights when they had immature livers and had a raised bilirubin, so had jaundice. Some of you will remember getting red lights in hospital, red lamps, infrared lamps to help you heal from surgery. Light's been around for a long time. Lasers, by the way, are just very concentrated light. So all the laser surgery and the laser technology is light. Within the patch, which looks like a Band-Aid, you can see pictures of them at the bottom there on the X39 sleeve, is patented nanocrystal technology. So what does that mean? It's atomic-sized crystals, tiny, tiny, tiny crystals that are formulated into a lattice work. So crisscross lattice work of sugar, salt, water, oxygen, and proprietary amino acids. Amino acids are just the building blocks of protein. And in this particular patch, they are histidine, cysteine, and lysine. So your body reflects your light once the patch is stuck on you and activates the nanocrystal technology in the patch. So the patch acts like a mirror. Now here's the best thing. It doesn't send anything into your system other than a message. So the best analogy I can draw for you is that we as humans get vitamin D from the sun. The sun does not give us vitamin D. It interacts with the melanin in our skin and it sets up a biochemical response. So our body manufactures vitamin D. This operates on the same principle. It sends a frequency into our body, and our body has a biochemical response. And that biochemical response is to produce a peptide that we have lots of, called GHKCU, which is a copper peptide. And as we age, that peptide reduces, which is part of the reason why we age. So important, non-transdermal, nothing going into your system. So not like a nicotine patch or an estrogen patch or any of those patches, that pain patches that we are used to associating with patches. No drugs, chemicals, or stimulants, just a message. So non-invasive. And what does that mean? That means it's safe and easy to use. You don't really need to know anything. You just need to be excited about the fact that this can help people turn on their own healing system with very little, almost no risk. Thanks, Jonathan. So what are the benefits of X39? Take a look at that, everybody. That looks like a shopping list for a happy life. If you look at all those things, increased strength, reduced inflammation, these are all the things that occur as we age for a whole variety of reasons. Increased stamina, energy and vitality, mental clarity, I've told you my experience, restored muscle and skeletal conditions, improved sleep. If we don't sleep, everything goes to hell in a handbasket. and improved skin appearance. So it's important to know that these claims are all medically proven, and LifeWave products are not intended, really important, to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. An X39 patch is a device. It is not medicine. It is simply a device which enables your body to heal itself. Thanks, Jonathan. So this is a topographical map. So once again, an example of technology. Now we can take thermo images of the inside of somebody's brain. This is all technology, and our patches are because of the advancement in technology and David's brilliant mind. So the combination is quite amazing. If you look at session 1, this is a 77-year-old woman who placed X39 on the back of her neck. She arrived with an inflamed brain and lack of brain coherence. So you can see all the orange and red, which is an indicator of inflammation. Session 2, no more orange, no more red. That's 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And there's an entire shift in the level of inflammation in her brain and consequently improved brain coherence. In session 3, which is at 6 weeks, you can see how the picture continues to improve. Thanks, Jonathan. So X39 long-term results per case studies. Once again, everything mentioned on this slide has been clinically proven. In the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. That's extraordinary, everybody. That's about a third, depending on what you believe, of your, that's just crazy stuff in terms of a human genome. Okay, the closest thing that allopathic medicine has for that is a thing called resveratrol, which resets 2 genes. So you can see that we're actually batting in a completely different league. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. You've seen the pictures of that. And so where would that be relevant? For people with anxiety, depression, ADHD, autism, anything that has a significant brain component. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. For some of us, that means hair growth, nails, and loss of fine lines, which is the bit that shows on the outside. But collagen is the glue that holds your body together. So it is in your blood vessels, it is in your bones, it is in your joints, it is in absolutely every single aspect of your body. And it's the degeneration of collagen which starts to make our tissues less able to do the job, and our organs less able to do the jobs that they used to do because they're aging. So by producing your own collagen within 3 months, you start to repair stuff you don't even know is marginally broken. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. So David Schmidt, in his own words, says, this is not anti-aging. It is age reversal. Thanks, Jonathan. How to wear X39. It's simple. You wear a patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off to repair and rejuvenate. The purpose of only wearing the patch for 12 hours is so that we don't get in a thing called attenuation. Attenuation is when your body gets used to a stimulus and stops responding. So the easiest way to explain that is if it takes you 1 cup of coffee to get a buzz, eventually it takes you 2 cups of coffee to get the same buzz. Eventually it takes you 3 cups of coffee to get the same buzz because you're conditioning your body in terms of what you're stimulating it with. So that's why the 12 hours on and 12 hours off is the optimal period of time. Then you throw the patch away or use it on your pets or your husband or your wife, because there's still a minimal amount of activity left in that patch, but not sufficient for you to use the following day. Then you put on a new patch and repeat. And that's all you do. You leave the patches with your toothbrush and you put them on when you brush your teeth, and you take them off when you brush your teeth. You can wear more than one patch at a time. We have about 10, okay, different patches. However, wearing more than one X39 at a time would only give you an extra 20% value, and that's just not necessary. X39 on its own, one patch at a time, can do a more than adequate job. The other important part of the slide is to drink plenty of water. As I mentioned earlier, this is a message. It is communication. And in order for that to be conducted from cell to cell, you need to be properly hydrated. The better hydrated you are, the better conductivity of the message. It's like electricity. And to add to that, we would suggest the use of electrolytes that are sugar-free. The latest clinical work says that 97% of the population is electrolyte deficient. So it's significant. I didn't know that. I do now. Right, next slide. Thank you. So X39, so sophisticated, yet simple to explain. The testimonies of X39 are life-changing and emotional, and that, guys, is a true story. That really is a true story. I've been involved now for almost 2 years, and some of the stuff that we're experiencing is just truly magical. And the most wonderful thing about X39 in its simplicity is that it absolutely works. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks so much for that, Alex. It was awesome. What an amazing piece of technology we have. And yeah, it's always nice for us to hear some testimonials from everybody who's been using and benefiting from the products. And yeah, the mic is now open. If anybody would like to share a testimony for us, that would be awesome.
Can I call somebody out?
Looks like Caroline is going
Caroline.
to fill the spotlight.
I'm always happy to share, although a lot of you have heard my story before, but there's always little extra bits that happen along the timeline. So I am a homeopath, and I started patching about January 24. So we're going towards a year and a half soon. And originally started patching because I had I'd heard about the amazing testimonials, and I was curious, and I really wanted to know a bit more about it, also for my own clinic. But personally, I had a very stiff knee, and listening to you, Alex, I wonder whether I had a beginning of some fibromyalgia, because I also had the stiff neck and I had pain, I'm waking up, but whatever it was, I never had it checked. I never needed to take any medication, but it was bad enough for me to not do the things I wanted to, like I couldn't do my yoga, or I couldn't bend my knees or lie on my knees and look at, say, on the floor, drawers, all that. So the first thing that happened was actually nothing. I was not a first patch wonder at all. And I think that's important to also explain that sometimes it does take longer. And I know with you, Alex, it took a long time for you to get the fibromyalgia results. But of course, along the way, you had other things happening. And that's exactly what happened to me. 3 weeks in was the first time I really realized that I was feeling something different. And I was starting to sleep very, very well. And when I realized it wasn't a coincidence, and it happened several times in a row, I also then realized that the whole neck pain was going. I could turn completely to park the car. The pain that had been waking me up at night, my hands were going away as well, the inside of my palms. And that made such a difference to my sleep. So it's a combination of sleeping better and less pain was just amazing. And I don't think if I'd had nothing else but that, I would have been happy actually. But then 6 weeks into that, so almost 3 months into patching, I was bending my knee again, and I was on the floor sitting on my heels. You know that pose in, it's just that position. You can sit on your heels and you can bend your knees, and you can do a lovely stretch out in yoga as well if you want to do that. But anyway, it was amazing. And then I started really testing myself, and I was squatting and I was doing all sorts of things that I hadn't been able to do for such a long time. I actually couldn't believe it. Further down the line, I realized in a yoga class that I didn't need to sit on a little square cork bit any longer. I could just sit on the floor and my back was completely straight. Whereas before I had to be up so I could stretch out. So my whole lower back had changed as well. Then my gums started getting better. Dentist was quite impressed with my teeth. And I'd always had fairly good teeth, but I also always had a few issues with my bleeding gums. And that went. And then the other day, I was sitting outside in the sun looking at my legs with my husband, and I were both had feet out in the sun. It was a lovely sunny day. And I said, yeah, I think my varicose veins are, I have mostly spider veins, but a few kind of bulgy veins. I said, I think they're better. And he said, yeah, I can't really remember what they look like. And then he looked at his own foot and he said, oh my God, mine are so much better. And I just been patching him with whenever I just stuck a patch on him whenever he ran past me. So quite often he only had one patch on it. So he's had a variety, always X39, sometimes Eon, sometimes X49, but mostly X39. And yeah, so that's where we are at the moment, a year and a half in. So really exciting.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Claire, please, can you give your testimony? If you don't want to switch your camera on, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm doing this. I don't know how to do this.
That's fine. That's fine. Just talk. We can hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to put the audio and the thing on. Oh, whatever.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Right. Yes, I would love to share my testimony with you. I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't put the video on. My life has changed completely since I've been patching. I've been patching since December 23. And can you still hear me?
Yes, it's beautiful.
And for the first 6 months, I didn't really notice anything dramatic other than maybe brain fog lifting and that sort of thing. I have rheumatoid arthritis, or maybe I can start saying I had it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And my job was quite demanding, so I used to live on diclofenac and Cataflam, which in the process kept me relatively pain-free, but also damaged my kidneys. When I started patching, I really thought, well, anything can happen. Let's wait and see. After 6 months, I have to tell you that I was completely pain-free. I used to take at night, just to be able to sleep, the Rumilef, Lyrica, and Panado, just to sleep. And after 6 months, I realized that I didn't have to take all of this anymore. I was also on methotrexate, which is not a very nice drug. It's quite damaging to your liver. Anyway, I was very pleased with that, and I continued patching. And I'm also a diabetic, and my endocrinologist said to me, what's going on? Things are changing here. Your kidney function has improved from being in the 50s for your filtration rate, and it's right back up to over 75, which is a miracle. It doesn't happen. If you've got kidney failure or kidney damage, usually it cannot be repaired, but thanks to LifeWave, something has happened. I also was on Altroxin since a very young age, And my GP has now said, you've got to stop this or at least reduce your dose. So at the moment, I'm on half the dose. And the next time I see her, she'll reassess, but it'll probably be down to nothing. My rheumatologist, when I saw her in February, 3 months before that, she said, all right, you don't have any pain, so let's stop the methotrexate. But you can only tell after 3 months whether it's the methotrexate or your magic patch, because methotrexate's half-life is 3 months in your body, and you won't know. Anyway, when I saw her after the 3 months, she pressed every joint in my body and pushed everywhere possible to try and get a pain result out of me or reaction, and she wasn't able to. I have no pain whatsoever. And she said, all right, you can also stop the Rumalef now. So I said, well, I actually stopped that when I stopped the methotrexate, because I don't see why I should take it. So she said to me, well, I'm sorry to say this, but you don't have to come and see me anymore, because really, unless you have a flare up, the most amazing thing has happened in your body. All right. And then I don't know if this is really relevant, but I had cataracts. I'm 74. I had cataract removed in February, and the ophthalmologist said to me, well, you know, I can give you quite a good result, but you will have to wear readers, because I can't do better than that. I told him I didn't want to walk up and down the aisles at the spa or Pick and Pay, putting my glasses on and taking them off and putting them on, you know, to see this. And he said, well, I can give you short distance of about 2 to 3 meters, and then the long distance. That's the best I can do. When I went for my final checkup after my cataract operation, he put that chart up and how much can you read? He gave me a book to read. And then he said, this is much better than I thought. And he took a bottle of wine that somebody had given him. It was on his desk. And he said, how much of this label can you read? The back side of the label, where it says made in South Africa. And it's minute. I read it all, and I can read the finest. I don't wear lenses. I don't have glasses. I don't need readers. And he just said to me, it must be those patches. I don't know how you could have had such a good result. So I'm very, very pleased. I have to say, from the diabetic point of view, I cheated. I went on to Ozempic to lose weight. I've lost an awful amount of weight. And I saw my diabetic doctor the other day, and I said to him, I'm not taking any glucophage anymore, because if I do take glucophage, I go into hypo. So he said, well, that is amazing, and just monitor your blood sugars and see. So he also thinks that my results on Ozempic and the fact that I'm not on any medication is and could be influenced by LifeWave X39. That's my life. It's completely turned around. I feel like a new man. I could almost say any man will do.
Thank you so much, Claire. And you know what? I think we should turn you into the poster child for X39, because like every single system that was involved has been repaired. It is absolutely amazing. So thank you for being willing to share that. I mean, guys, isn't that extraordinary? In one person.
I just, when I
It's
get out of bed in the morning, I have to say, I say, thank you, Lord, because I feel fantastic. And between him and David Schmidt, what can I say?
Yeah. Bless you. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay. Should we go on?
Yeah, we can do. And I just want to point out how remarkable that is, that like Claire, I think Claire said she's 74, and that all those systems improve at an advanced age. I just think it's absolutely incredible.
Jonathan, you really need to speak louder, my darling.
Okay, I will shout at this computer screen.
Not so much of the advanced age, I might just add.
Not anymore.
Go gently. Go gently.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna be giving the business side of the presentation. Just busy pulling up the slides here quickly.
Okay. Let's
Okay, can
just
you
get
hear me
rid of the
okay?
grey bits. Okay.
It'll disappear in a moment.
There we go. So this is the slide if you want to know anything about the patches. It's an enormously comprehensive website, so write it down or take a photograph. There are some very valuable videos on there that are worth watching, and they're short and informative. At the bottom of that website, there are a variety of doctors talking about why X39 is so extraordinary. And may I just say, Claire, that you are converting the medical profession one person at a time because they can't explain your extraordinary results. Okay, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jonathan.
No problem. Thank you so much for all of that, Alex. Okay, guys, so let's look at LifeWave as a business. And yeah, so first up, it's a 20-year-old company. It's been around for a while, been around the block twice. I don't know if you guys know about business statistics, but 96% of businesses fail within the first 10 years. And so LifeWave's been around for 2 of those cycles, which gives us some sustainability. LifeWave is now open in over 80 countries, so we are growing. And the awesome thing, and one of my favorite things about LifeWave, is that it's not a Me Too product like most companies. This little patch, the X39, this is the first of its kind. Okay, the first one that is proven to elevate that copper peptide and in turn elevate our stem cells. There's nothing else like it on the market. So like sometimes people can say, oh, I have this skincare product. It's so amazing. You need to try it. And the next person can say, well, I have a skin product that's amazing too. And there might be even another third skin product because it's been duplicated. But because we have a patent on this product for the next 15 years, it cannot be duplicated. It's not a Me Too product. The only place you can find it is with LifeWave. And if you look at the growth of LifeWave over the past couple of years, they'd been making around $20 million for several years prior to 2021. And in 2021, they made 20 million again. Then This Is a Team got involved and really pushed this product that had recently been birthed, the X39. And look at the growth in 2022. It skyrocketed up to 320 million. And then in 2023, that 430, in 2024, over 600 million just last year. And this year, we're still on track to do over $1 billion in sales. A company that's growing at a rate like that has something absolutely phenomenal, and the numbers prove it. LifeWave is currently ranked the #1 momentum company on this website, businessforhome.org. It is an American-based website, and LifeWave is ranked #1 for fastest momentum in the world currently. This is the Global Bravo Award for the #1 growth company in the world. And LifeWave received this award. You can see David Smith, the founder and CEO, on the left there. LifeWave received this award last year, and we received it again this year. And so we've been the fastest growing company in the world for 2 years running. What an awesome company to be a part of. At this point in the presentation, we ask, what's most important in your life? And why are you on this presentation tonight? Why have you discovered LifeWave and came and sat and listened to this awesome technology? If you came for better health, you can certainly find it here with LifeWave. We've heard those phenomenal testimonies that were given, and we can see clearly if you're after better health, you can find it here. But maybe you're after some more time with your family, some more time freedom in general, maybe some security or less debt, or maybe you just want to travel. And you can find all of that with LifeWave too. If you desire travel, LifeWave offers us incentive trips. We can qualify to earn these trips, and they've just been to Punta Mita on the incentive trip that LifeWave gives us. So if you're here for travel, LifeWave offers us that too. And just as a phenomenal product that LifeWave has, LifeWave also has a phenomenal business structure. The business structure is as such. It works with a binary system. So you're only building a left team and a right team. And the magic place to be in LifeWave is the rank of manager. And you get there simply by adding 2 people left and 2 people write. But let's say I don't want to be involved in the business at all, and I just want to be a customer and use the product. That's perfectly fine too. You can become a retail customer where you purchase 1 sleeve of X39 like this. There's 30 of these patches in the sleeve. That gives you a month's supply. So it's 1 patch a day. And you buy for $150 at retail price. Or you can become a preferred customer and you set up a monthly subscription. You then get it at wholesale price for $100. But why would you want to do that on a monthly subscription or at a higher price range where you could become a brand partner, get all your products at wholesale price as you want, when you want, how much you want, and you have the potential of building a business so you can get your own product for free, and you could potentially also, if you work at it, create financial freedom, because LifeWave pays us in 4 ways. First way is retail profits. So if you get a retail customer, they buy the X39 for $150. LifeWave pays you $50. If you get a preferred customer, $100 a month, LifeWave pays you $20. Then the second way you can earn money with LifeWave is also this that's in front of us, the team commission. So we're building a left team and right team. Points are generated on both of these legs. And once there's enough points to generate a cycle, LifeWave pays you $50. And you can cycle many, many times, all the way up into $25,000 per week. And there's many people in LifeWave that are maxing out this piece of the compensation plan and earning that $25,000 every single week. Okay, that's the second way that we get paid. The third way we get paid is this matching bonus. Okay, so let's say, for example, Alex enrolls me. I am Alex's first line. Okay, and so off of my cycles, those $50 increments, let's say I have 2 cycles, I earn $100. Alex will get 25% of that, which will be $25. But I could cycle 100 times, for example, and Alex would earn 25% of that. I then go and I sign up my mom. She's then Alex's second level. Alex gets 20% off of all of her cycles. My mom then signs up her friend, Alex. My mom's friend is then Alex's third line, and Alex will get 20% off of all of that person's cycles. But it's not from those people, any of Alex's sign-ups. LifeWave pays Alex. Says, thank you so much for inviting these people to use this phenomenal product and to generate income. Here's a little bonus for you, Alex, the matching bonus. Okay, and the fourth one that we get is product introductory bonus. This is for introducing people to LifeWave and inviting them to join us as brand partners. We have a sign-up sheet that you can use. And where do you come in? You come in where you fit in. So these are the 3 basic options you can start with. The first one on the left is the core. With that one, you get 3 months supply of the X39 for $295. Okay, so let's say you just want to try out the product. It is recommended that you use the product for a minimum of 3 months or 1 month for every decade of your life. So if you're 50, 5 months. If you're 30, 3 months. That's the basic guideline. It's not meant for short-term use. It's meant for long-term use. So the core option, 3 months for $295. You want to try out the product yourself. Or perhaps you want to start a business. You want to start sharing. Then you go for the advanced. For $535, you get 6 months supply. So you can see that they've dropped the price per sleeve there. And that way you have enough product for yourself to use, maybe for your spouse to use. And you also have product to sample to people, because we do get those one-patch wonders. Some people experience results within the first day and some phenomenal results. And then there's also the third option, the premium, which is $1,750. This is for the serious entrepreneur, or maybe you have some kind of practice where you're going to be distributing the patches. There you get 20 months worth for $1,750. So you have more than enough to sample. And you can see that they've dropped the price per sleeve way down to $87.50 per sleeve instead of $100. Cool thing about all of LifeWave products is that they come with a money-back guarantee. For brand partners, it's 30 days, and for preferred customers and retail customers, it is 90 days. It's awesome that we get that. I also just want to mention the monthly subscription. we always want to be earning these points from LifeWave. And the way that we ensure that we keep our points is simply setting up a monthly subscription. I have one because I never want my account to go active and then I lose my points. And so I have a monthly subscription that ensures I get my product because I want to use it for myself and my wife and my daughter. And I want to ensure that I'm always able to earn those commissions because my account is always active. If you feel that I've gone through all of this a little bit quickly, as I have, I've just briefed over it. This is another awesome website. This is ateam.com. On there, it's a training site, okay? And there's a 1-hour video of the entire compensation plan, and it gives it in extreme detail. So if you want to understand it exactly, go have a look at that video. You can also ask the person who invited you to this presentation for that video, and I'm sure they'll send it to you. We've already spoken about this is at info.com. Awesome site for loads of information, cool stuff you can find over there, from the doctors, the patents, the clinical trials, etc. It's all on there. And if you're looking for the training, you want to see how the business runs, look at thisisateam.com. It's another awesome resource. So the time is now to make your move. Are you serious about your dream? Because there is hope for your future. And this is it. Get started with X39 today. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? And before we answer questions, can I just say that part of Jonathan's last slide, we've listened to amazing testimonials this evening, and we really can be like hope brokers. Okay, whether that be about health, or whether that be about financial security, or whether that be about financial way out dreams, whatever that may be, there really is a huge vehicle here that changes lives in just so many, in just every single context of somebody's life can be altered. Pat, do you have a question? Not? Does anybody else have a question?
Alex, can I ask something? If somebody's got a Transact patch, like
Yes.
right on their neck, very close to where the potential spot is to put your X39, is it advisable not to put it close to that patch, or will it not matter from an efficacy point of view?
Honestly, I can't answer the question. Okay, I don't know whether the actual chemical composition of a Transact patch would interfere with the
That's what I
structural
thought.
definition of the patch. So for me, they might have to pick one. Okay, in terms of a vehicle, or alternatively, place the X39 above or below. Okay, but not the Transact patch over the X39
No,
or it on top of
no,
the Transact patch. So
no.
either above or below, I would imagine would be fine. Because as long as it's, it's systemic, but it certainly does seem to sometimes have a more significant effect if you put it on an area of discomfort or on an area of, I don't know. Does anybody else have a thought? That would be my logic or my common sense.
Yeah, I ended up placing it on her wrist here because she's got
Yeah.
polymyalgia, and she said she saw everywhere. So I said, well, look, let me try it there. I don't know, because she had a Transact lower spine on her shoulder, and she says it's just, every day is sore, just some days are worse than
Yeah,
others.
no. Being where she
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah, so I said, no,
does-
I actually understand. So I put it there.
Is she using Aeon?
She's not using anything, but she's very interested in the patches. I just saw her at church, and I thought, I actually have the Aeon with me. So I offered to patch, and she said she's got all these patches here. So I said, I don't want to put it so close. So I placed it on her wrist. So I just wondered.
Because for somebody like that, I would suggest Aeon to begin with, so that you
Okay.
create an environment in which X39 is most effective. Because if you, for example, produce hypothetical 2 million stem cells, if your body is inflamed, stem cells will prioritize decreasing inflammation because you cannot heal if your body is inflamed. So you'll be left with 200,000
Sure.
doing repair, and the rest will have been consumed managing inflammation.
Understand.
Okay.
Yeah, good advice. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hello.
Yes,
It's
hi,
Pat.
Pat.
Hi. Thank you
Yes.
so much for responding on my request. I just wanted to know, there are people that are saying they've used the product for so many years. So I just want to confirm that, do we have to use the product for life? Or we've got a specific period that we have to use the product, then we are healed 100%.
Okay. That's a really good question. So the short answer is it's entirely your choice. Okay. So once you start using patches, you begin the process of age reversal and healing. And so so for example, let's say we are replacing cartilage or a disc or something mechanical. Once that is repaired or once that is replaced, if you stop patching, it won't disappear because you've rebuilt it. Okay, or the system has rebuilt it, however long that has taken. But the day you stop patching, you immediately start to reverse aging in the other direction. Okay, so you once again start to go back to where you were before you started patching. So there are acute reasons to use patches. It depends what you're using them for. Okay, and many people, when they've had resolution of something, particularly pain, I'll never stop patching because I'm never going back there. Okay. So for lots of people, it really is a personal choice. And there are short-term reasons to use patching. If you are a really young person and you're going to have elective surgery, it would be advisable to patch you with X39 beforehand for a month at least, maybe even 6 weeks, and patch you post-surgery because it has a huge impact on healing. It alters the recovery rate by about 50%. So there are short-term uses for patches, but generally patches are considered to be something that you use until you're ready to stop. So that would be a personal decision. It's not a short-term thing.
Thank you so much. I've got it. Thank you.
Okay,
Asad.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Any more? Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Go see how many people you can patch tomorrow.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good meeting. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks. Good night.